Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk, and I'm here today to show you how I made this project. Okay, this is a hanging piece for the home, bit of home decor, which I'm giving to my son, who just recently bought his first house and has moved into it, and I didn't want to just give him any old card. So I came up with this idea, and this is my Stampin' for All challenge for this week, which we do every Monday over in Stampin' for All, one of the design team, of which I'm one of. We take it in turns. I think there's 5 of us, so it's like every 5th week it'll be our turn to do one, and Amanda, Scrimping Mommy, she sets the challenges, and so her challenge was for me was sort of like frame / home decor, and I was going to just decorate an ordinary frame, and then I just thought, go one better than that, I'll make the frames. And I've seen these quite often on YouTube, and I've never made one before until I sort of practiced for this, and actually they're dead easy, they're dead addictive. I've made shed loads now, and I just think that is well cute. And I've used the new DSP 6x6 stacks in the in colour for this year, and so we've got blueberry bushel and lovely lipstick, yeah, quite like them together. I like red and blue together. I think it goes really, really nice. Kind of things I would have dressed my son in. Well, when he wasn't in purple and pink, that is, when he was little. So yeah, so stay tuned and I'll show you how I made it. So to make these little frames, I've got a 6x6 piece of the DSP, and I'm going to score down at 3/8, 3/4, 1 1/8, 1 1/2, and then I'm going to flip it and repeat 3/8, 3/4, 1 1/8, 1 1/2. We do that on all 4 sides. I will put all the measurements on my blog, Nigezza.co.uk, and I will do an easy to see sort of template. Okay, so you've got those grid lines on all 4 sides, and then what you need to do on 2 opposite sides, you're going to do a little score down to the second score line on each side, and you're going to make it the 3/8 of an inch distance, and these are the important measurements, and this is how you can sort of resize this to any size that you want. And you don't just have to do square ones, you can do rectangle ones, but these score lines have to be the same on each of the sides that you do it. So you just go the same distance you did there. So this is 3/8 of an inch, so that means it's going to be 1 7/8, and you just go down to the second score line. Over here you want 3/8 of an inch this side of that last score line, which is 4 1/8, and you're just going down past the first and stop at the second score line, and you flip it 180 degrees and you do it again, 1 7/8, 4 1/8, and that's it. And that's the same principle whatever size frame you do. Okay, I looked at quite a few different videos on making this, and some of them at this point they did slightly different things here, and this is the one that I liked best. So you're just going to simply cut these 4 corners off where you've got the grid lines, so you end up with a nice square here. You actually cut it of gridded. Now I ain't throwing those away, I'm a crafter, so I'm keeping them, and I have got a project in mind for them, because I have made lots and lots of frames now, because I've done it for 2 projects now, and so I'm building up quite a collection of these grids. So there will be a project coming your way soon of how to use them. So if you've got a bit obsessed with making frames like I have, you'll have quite a few of these. So don't despair. Keep them, and I'll show you what to do with them. So that's it, that's all 4 done. Like so, and then for these little bits, you've got your score line there. I don't know which side's easiest to see. And you're going to cut up that score line, stop where it stops, and then you're going to cut diagonal from that cut line to the end of that score line there. So you've got that sort of shape. So cut up the score line and then the diagonal from the end of that cut to the next score line, and repeat on the other side. And this is where it differs. Some people have cut out a sort of what I call a rooftop shape. Here they've done it a little bit different, but this I found the easiest. I ain't quite done that right there. Okay, so that's the shape that you end up with. I say I will put it in detail on my blog so that you can see it. And now you've got to decide which do you want as the outside and which do you want as the inside. I'm going to put the spots at the outside on this one. I've made a lot of these, and so for the project, the finished project, I want them to be all a bit different. So just score up, burnish rather, all the score lines. When you get into the swing of this, they just make up really quickly. Been doing it whilst watching telly. I've got loads of frames now. It's a good thing. I got loads of presents in mind for using them. I'm also using them in my craft room for decoration, my new craft room that's going to have wall space for decoration. The luxury of having a space on a wall where you're going to decorate as opposed to have a shelving unit in. Okay, now you're going to put a T-sieve on the outer edge of each of these score lines, keeping just the other side of where it's scored. And if it was a bigger frame, you'd put a T-sieve across these diagonals, but on such a small frame, I find it easier to leave those without any T-sieve, and I'll put it in when I make it up. Now, tear and tape would be good for this. You could use Tombow. For quickness, I'm going to use my fast fuse. I know it's retired, but I've got it, so I'm using it. I'm sure some of you might have it, or you have your own favourite adhesive that you will use. I have made I've made most of mine with tear and tape, but for quickness, for the video, I'm not. Okay, now what you do is you'll fold this bit in half. Don't know why I'm doing it in the air. Fold it in half and then fold it over in half again, like so, and then fold it back on itself. Now you can bring in your bone folder and do a good burnish. But what you've got to be careful is if you've over stuck that, it will stick down a bit. And that's the side of your frame. Okay, so you fold it in half. I have overstuck that a little bit there, so try and fold it in half and in half again. Press down, press back. There's your frame. Okay, with these sides, you just fold over the first score line and then fold over the third score line. So it comes to the inside of the frame like that, and then it will fold up that way to form your frame, like so. So fold it over to the first score line and then fold over the third score line, like so, and then that will lift up there, and that's how your frame's formed. And this is where I apply the T-zip, because it's such a small frame. If you'd have put glue on the inside of those corner bits, they would now have the glue to stick it, but I find because it's such a small diagonal that it doesn't work so well. So I put a blob of Tombow across the corner there, getting to the end of this Tombow. Might just have enough for this project, please. Maybe not. Right, maybe not. Let's try glue dot. Get glue dot. Put a glue dot in that corner and a glue dot in that corner there where I haven't got much Tombow. Let's see if that works. So now they will slide into place. And be held down. Yeah, sort of works. And then this side with the Tombow, you're going to have to hold it a second for it to take. And that is your little frame. I prefer Tombow to the glue dots, I think. But that's the frame done. Quite simple, quite pretty. I like them. And now I shall show you what I did with the end. So I'm just finishing off the last of the frames, and I have decided that glue dots on this size is preferable. So just put glue dot on each of the corners. And then just slip them all up into each other. And the glue dot holds them nicely in place. So I'll just do the last one. There we are. And if I bring in the other frames, and you can see what it is that I'm doing. So I am spelling home. Our letters from our large letter dies fit in these little frames perfectly. I've alternated, how do I want to stick to it? I've alternated the DSP so that's the opposite to that one, that's the opposite to that one, alternated the colours and alternated the letters. So I've been and I've cut out lots and lots of embellishments for this, and I've used quite a few stamp sets. So I've used the Happy Birthday Gorgeous. I wanted to use the Hooray balloon because it's like, hooray, he's got a new house, and actually, hooray, he's moved out. Yeah, I do mean that. I've used the balloon celebration, and I've used that there, if you can see. So I stamped the hooray, and then I stamped off, and then I stamped on to give that sort of a balloon look there. I just decided to go for that instead of watercolouring. As you can see, I've done some bottles, I've done the yay, I've done a thumbs up, and I've done a little for you, and I've used the dies to cut out all the different elements there. And then from this set, all I've used is the little glass, which I've scattered about, but I also used the deck chair there. It doesn't show up that much, but I might try it when I glue it down in a different one, actually. But that's basically it. So I've got to stick it all together, and then I've got to mount it. Oh, and I've used the Amazing and the Celebrate from Celebrate You dies as well. Okay, so I'm going to stick those down, and then I'll show you how I assemble it to be together in one piece to hang on his wall. Okay, so I've stuck them all down, and you'll notice that I have put little bows on the end of these balloons. So I'm just going to show you how I tied the bows. So I'm using the sheer Whisper White ribbon, and I just take the end, hold the two together between my thumb and first finger, and then I roll it around, keeping the ribbon flat so it's not twisted in any way, and that gives you a nicer bow. And then you poke it through there and you pull it, but what you need to do is try and remember to keep that tail out the way. So pull it, start adjusting, pull it until you basically get the size you want. I want quite a little bow. And you can pull those ends down, pull it nice and tight. When you get it the size you want, then get the ends so that they're kind of coming down, twiddle that so it's how you want it. There we go. That's what I was meaning about not getting it twisted, and that is about the same size as them. And then you just take your snips and snip it off so it's at a, I think I've got glue on my snips, and the other one about the same. And that's it. That's how you do a little bow. And then I just take some glue dots, well, one glue dot, stick it on there, get my pokey tool, and then that's going to get stuck like so. And that's it. That's how I do my bows. That's how I do most of my bows, actually. Make them all like that. Okay, so that's that bit. So to mount these, to make this sort of solid, what I've got is I've got a bit of chipboard here. This is the chipboard that you get like with glimmer paper or something, so it's quite thick. Where's my measurer? Oh, it's on the other desk. Got it. Right, so it is about, I think that's 2 millimeters. Yeah, it's about 2 millimeters thick. So it's quite tough, okay? And then this is the sort of the bit of white sort of cardstock you get when you buy some DSP. Sometimes DSP comes with these hard bits, so that's going to get stuck on the outside to make it a little bit prettier. Okay, so it's 2 inches thick, so we're going to use this to help us measure where we want it, because these are 3 inches deep, so you can have a 1/2 inch overlap. So that I'm going to stick that one so it's butted up to the bottom, and then I'll stick the next one so it's butted up to the top, and then you'll know that if you carry on doing that, that you're going to get a nice even, they're all going to measure the same. See what I mean? Cool. And we're also going to glue the sides down. So the first thing to do is to put the first one in place, and I'm going to use Tombow for that. So I'm just going to stick, so we can have a bit of wiggle room, some Tombow all the way along here. Because I don't want this falling off when it's on. There we go. So this one is going to be up, so I want to stick it so that the bottom is at the bottom. So line that up with the bottom, line that up with the side, and then just press it down. And then we'll put some more glue, so that is going to line up to the top edge and all the way over, so it sticks to the middle between them as well. So you could do this with somebody's name. So you could do this for a child's bedroom with their name on it, and then you just need to extend if they had more than 4 letters. Or if they had 3 letters, chop it down. But it would be easy enough to do, because I would just do them side by side and then put a reinforce at the back where it's joined. So that's that down. Some of these I've stuck up a bit with dimensionals, give it a little bit of a feature that way. So that's what it's looking like at the back. So these overlaps are the same, so that it's going to be nice and even. Okay, so that's dried, and I've trimmed it down there. So all that remains is to cover the back a bit, and I'm going to attach some ribbon so it can get hung up. So I just did the length of it, which is 40 centimeters, 16 inches. So I just cut a bit that's 16 inches, and I'm just going to stick it down on the back here and then sandwich it. between the two bits. So I'm going to use some contraband. I'm going to use the fast fuse because I want to make sure that the ribbon sticks really well. So that's going to go down there. I want it to be nicely anchored. So I'm going to make sure that I don't get any twists in it. That's that. And then this just needs gluing on the back, so I'm going to use a bit of Tombow. There we are, brand new Tombow. And then this can be stuck in place over the top, and then it gives it a nice neat look at the back and the front. And I might write a message. I think I will certainly put the date on it, or the date he took possession of the house, which was probably about 5 weeks now. Can't believe it's been that long. Still got some of his stuff here. Still comes back with his washing because he hasn't got his washer plumbed in yet. Some things never change, do they? Oh, there we go. And that's that. So that is a little bit of home decor. Home. Oh dear, I do amuse myself sometimes. Yes, so a bit of home decor that says home, and yeah, it's using frames. So that's my challenge for this week on Stamping for All. So yeah, use some frames, make some home decor, and have fun. Okay, thank you for joining me. If you pop over to Stamping for All and joining the challenge, it'd be great. And then I'll blog about it on Saturday, and I include pictures of everybody's contributions to the challenge. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll have a go at these frames. I've become completely addicted to making these frames, and I absolutely love them. These are the little ones from 6x6, but you can make them out of you know, right up to 12x12. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. If you click below, it will take you to the blog post where there'll be close-ups and sort of the template for making the frames. Hope it's easy to follow. If you like it, please give me the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please subscribe to my blog, and then you'll get to hear about everything I do 3 times a week. That's me. Bye bye now.